Hi, I'm Simon. Today I'm going to show you how to test and replace the defrost heater assembly in an LG refrigerator. The defrost heater is located inside the freezer section behind the rear cover panel at the bottom of the evaporator. It consists of an iron heater, the high limit fuse, and the defrost sensor. When energized by the main PCB, the defrost heater melts the frost off of the evaporator coil, preventing the coil from freezing over. You might need to change out this part if it failed testing or has been damaged. Before we start, take a moment to like and to subscribe to our channel so you will never miss our latest repair guides. With over 2 million products in stock and the know-how to help you to do it yourself, we are AppliancePartsPros.com. For this job, you will need a Phillips screwdriver, a heat gun if you decide to use it, a multimeter, a flat blade screwdriver, a pair of side cutters, a pair of needle-nose pliers, and 3-4 small zip ties. And remember, safety comes first. Always unplug your refrigerator or switch off the breakers before starting any repairs, unless you are doing a live voltage test. With that said, pull out the freezer door. Lift the front end of the sliding drawer tray and remove it. Next, lift the rear end of the freezer drawer up and slide it out. Take a look at the evaporator cover panel. Do you see any frost or ice buildup on it? Then you definitely got a defrost system failure, and to troubleshoot this problem, we also need to get behind the rear cover panel. Use the Phillips screwdriver to remove a single screw on each side of the rail next to the door. Holding the freezer door from inside, avoiding the door handle, lift it up to free from the rails. Clear the rear panel and the evaporator coil from the frost and ice buildup, and then remove the rear cover panel. There are two ways of doing it. Melting frost using a heat gun or a steamer if you got one, or leave the fridge unplugged with the freezer door off for 24 hours plus. In both cases, you will need to take care of the water at the bottom of the freezer and at the floor around the fridge. Strongly recommend leaving the refrigerator for 24 hours to self-defrost it. If you have a steamer, preferably, or a heat gun, and don't want to wait another day, use it to get rid of the frost. Just keep one thing in mind. Don't melt anything but the frost. After taking care of the frost, we need to remove the rear cover panel. Grab the cover panel at the top and pull to free the cover panel out for enough to expose the wire harnesses on the right and on the left. Reach in and unplug the freezer temperature sensor on the right first, and then both motor plugs on the left. Carefully remove the panel out. Our next task is to troubleshoot the defrost heater assembly. It consists of 3 parts: the iron heater under the evaporator, the high temperature fuse, and the defrost sensor. Unplug the 4-wire plug near the top on the right. Set your multimeter to the resistance. That's the horseshoe look-like sign. Insert the meter probes in the black and dark brown wire openings on the plug. A resistance of a good defrost heater should be around 34 to 42 ohms. If your meter reading is way off, the defrost heater assembly has to be replaced. If you have correct resistance reading, that means the high temperature fuse is also good because of the way it's connected with the heater, and we need to check the defrost sensor. Change the test points to 2 light brown wires at the same plug. At room temperature, the resistance value of this sensor should be between 10,000 and 12,000 ohms. If the reading is far off, replace the defrost heater assembly. If all 3 components of the defrost heater assembly are good, but the evaporator is still freezing over, you need to replace the main PCB. During our troubleshooting, we established that the defrost heater assembly is bad and it needs to be replaced. Using the side cutters, cut all of the 3 plastic ties holding the harness on the right side of the evaporator. Pull out the fuse and the sensor. Leave the evaporator slightly and release 2 hooks on the top to free the brackets. Locate the copper tube above the evaporator. Grab it firmly and bend out so the whole evaporator comes forward. Make sure that the heat shield is not holding it. Using the flat screwdriver and your finger, bend open 2 clips on the right side of the coil that holds the heater. Move to the left and using the needle-nose pliers, bend the bottom of the bracket to the left. Then using the side cutters, snap open the bracket at the bottom right and bend it open with needle-nose pliers. Make sure the fuse and the sensor are free and remove the defrost heater assembly. Remove the retainer bracket from the old defrost heater. This is the old defrost heater assembly next to the new one. If you don't have this part, you can get it from appliancepartspros.com. Snap on the retainer clip onto the new defrost heater. Let's install the new defrost heater. Slide the heater into the brackets starting with the right side. Push it all the way to the left and using the needle-nose pliers, straighten the right and the left side bottom brackets. With your finger, bend the metal strips on the right closed. Loop and lock 3 zip ties. Install the fuse and the defrost sensor. Tightening the zip ties, secure the harness to the evaporator. Cut the extras with the side cutters. Carefully bend the evaporator copper tube back in the original position. Hook it on the top. Plug in the heater assembly. Next, we install the rear cover panel. Bring it, plug all 3 plugs and place the bottom in first. Bring it up and press to lock all the tabs. Pull out both rails and install the freezer door. Place the rear hooks in, then lower down the front with the tabs locked in the openings. Secure the door with 2 Phillips screws, 1 on each side. Lowering the freezer drawer, the front first. Then install the sliding tray rear end on the rails and push it in. Close the freezer door and plug the refrigerator in. Congratulations on completing the repair. You accomplished something impressive and saved money on the way. If you found our guide helpful, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below to share your experience. And if you still need a replacement defrost heater assembly, grab your model number and get it ordered from appliancepartspros.com. With tons of videos to help you install them and a huge inventory, we guarantee you great prices and in the most cases, delivery in just 2 business days. Thanks for your support and see you next time.